GTA Online was released in October of 2013, and since then content has been added ever since. At the time of writing, GTA Online has added a total of 352 vehicles, 46 weapons, numbers of new maps to existing game modes, and over 50 adversary modes in a total of 36 DLCs. Hell, they even built an entire new casino. While that's super impressive, it does bring a lot of instability to the game. Even on PS4 Pro, I notice more and more frame drops as more DLCs are added. And especially with the recently announced new location, I fear that GTA Online will be pushed too far into its limit. Because after all, it's a 2013 game that's done more stretches than your local gym enthusiast. And just like him or her, at some point, there's gonna be a very painful tear. So today I want to explore an option that would likely help GTA Online breathe a little bit more: the concept of vaulting content. For those who aren't familiar with this term, allow me to explain. Vaulting content works as follows. Old content that doesn't get played as much anymore or is outdated in the current year will be put into the quote-unquote vault. So this way the game gets more breathing space, provides a more clean overview of things to do, and also allows developers to potentially bring it back at a later time with a 2020 coat of paint. To give two examples of this, Fortnite does this with its weapons and items. Now personally, I'm not super familiar with Fortnite, but from what I've heard, they for example vault a shotgun and then bring back a revolver, thus changing the meta for a season and making the game feel a lot more fresh. An example I can give that I am personally familiar with is going to be Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has a lot of content in the game currently, and in their blog post announcing the vaulting of content and their plans for it, they said that one of their expansions took up 5% of space in the game, but only 0.3% of the player base was actually playing it, and GTA Online will surely be not any different. Having done a quick test on this to see if I could find a match in some of the lesser popular modes, it won't surprise you to hear that I didn't find anyone playing capture, LTS, versus modes, parachuting, or adversary modes, aside from sumo. And even outside of those modes, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get played. Even individual adversary modes themselves, like Rhino Hunt, Come Out to Play, Tiny Racer, Slipstream, and many others are simply dead. No one is playing them. The only time they are slightly populated is when there's double cash or triple cash on them. And even then, there are modes people just simply refuse to play. Even the popular modes like races and deathmatches could be doing with a little bit of an overhaul. Many races aren't played all that much, and some of the maps aren't really even suited anymore for present day GTA Online. I especially look at the original stunt races. If I would get $1 for every time someone overshoots a jump in the Pariah or an Italy GTO, I would have my own island at this point. Then there are the many Rockstar playlists that up until this moment, I'm sure a few of you didn't even know they existed. And the many garbage user-generated content that doesn't get played and just simply sits there on the servers, taking up space and making no sense to even keep. My proposal would be that if a job hasn't been played for 2 years, get rid of it, maybe even shorter. I think that would really clean up a lot and help the game in the long run. The same goes for the vehicles in the game. Now I'm very much aware that the cars in the game are a very big part of GTA Online. But with this many vehicles in the game, there's a lot of stuff that is simply outdated or no longer used. I understand there is a couple of race enthusiasts out there who will potentially lose their favorite car, but I'm sure Rockstar has statistics of how many Arena War Izzy's there are in the game, for example. Some people even have 10 of them because they love them so much. How mighty curious! Jokes aside, there is a lot of unused content in the game that simply is taking up a lot of space and is undoubtedly affecting the game performance, especially in free roam. You got free roam events, challenges, business battles, CEO missions, biker missions, people selling and sourcing their businesses, doing heist preps for Doomsday or Casino, people driving, killing, and screaming at their mom they want McDonald's for dinner. All this stuff is layers upon layers of stuff that simply is putting a toll on the game. Rockstar keeps adding more and more and more stuff to free roam and hoping that the 7-year-old duct tape won't burst into flames and destroys us all. This is especially noticeable on the very first Xbox One. I know I trashed the console a lot, but all jokes aside, the game becomes downright uncomfortable to play in free roam at times, especially when you're in a lobby with a lot of other players or get near the casino. The game and/or the console just simply does not seem to be able to handle it, and from what I've heard, the standard PS4 doesn't seem to be that different as well. Especially with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X versions being at least another year away from releasing, I think this is definitely the way forward. I understand that some of you might be a bit split on this, but I personally think that this is the way to keep GTA Online's bubble from bursting, especially because it was never built to last as long as it has. But of course, I would love to know what you think. What would you like to keep or yeet outside of the game? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you all so very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.